I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you all for being here tonight for our regular city council meeting. We need to move on to the approval of the agenda for this evening. City Administrator Evans?
Yes, I do have one amendment to tonight's agenda. I would like the council to consider adding under new business, letter E, we'll title it Web Construction Lawsuit Update.
Make a motion to add web construction lawsuit to the agenda.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed, same sign. All right, now we need on to public hearings. We need a motion to close our regular session and go into a public hearing at 7:02.
Go ahead.
I make a motion to close the.
We have a motion
Second.
and a second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed, same sign. All right, under here, this is a public hearing. This is in reference to the change to the enabling resolution that will transfer the administration review and approval of micro loans and revolving loan programs to the EDA. So is there anybody within our in front that would like to speak it?
And Mr. Mayor, if you like, I could just do a general overview.
All right, thank you.
Of what that is. So the EDA has been having conversations with Jim Gromberg and myself, and when the original enabling resolution was passed back in 1987, it gave very much all the authority to just the council to make decisions. And what we're proposing, and when you talk about it in the meat of the meeting later, is we're asking that the EDA be responsible for approving microloans and revolving loans. Everything else would maintain under the purview of the city council. Obviously, EDAs have the ability to levy. The city of the center has not done that, but they have the ability to. But again, that would be under council's purview. This would just allow the EDA to receive loan applications for the microloan program or the revolving loan fund program, review them, set the rates to an appropriate, under market rate, and then come up with the own terms and execute those loans. We don't have a lot of them, but what when we do, what we're finding is I'm having to do two things at one time, and typically if the EDA is making a recommendation to the council, they've generally approved that recommendation to do a loan. So this just eases some of the burden on myself and Jim to kind of, if we do have people come up that want these loans, and try to promote them a little bit, it makes it a little bit easier on us.
It will also expedite those loans as well, because in the past it would have to get passed in the EDA, and then it has to wait until whenever the city council meeting happens and get passed by the city council. So
and then go back and then for approval.
Yeah.
So this is we'll expedite it. Like I said, we don't issue a lot of them. The EDA has in the past, and we kind of Jim's really bolstered up our presence as far as getting those loans out on our website and kind of pushing that if that's an option for folks. So this just gives us a little bit easier pathways to give those loans out. So that was my 2 cents on it.
thank you. Is there any comments, questions from the public? Nothing?
Oh, and for the record, I did not receive, this was in the newspaper, I did not receive any written or oral communications on the matter. Nothing was sent to the city. So,
Thank you. All right. If there's no one here that has anything to speak about with that, anybody with council?
I'll make a motion to close the public hearing.
Second.
A motion and second to close the public hearing at 7:05. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. All right, moving on to our consent agenda for this evening. Lots of things on here. On our consent agenda, we have approval of minutes from the regular council meeting held on June 9th, 2026, approval of claims to be paid, approval of resolution number 2026-0, a resolution appointing election judges for the state primary election on August 11th, 2026, approval of a special event permit for the third annual VFW Post 1803 side-by-side run requested by Frank Wacklerich. Approval of resolution number 2026P, a resolution accepting a $500 donation for the 250th anniversary celebration from the Lee Center VFW Post 1803. Approval of resolution number 2026Q, a resolution accepting a $1,372 donation for the free swim event from the Lee Center Lions Club. Approval of resolution number 2026R, a resolution accepting a $2,000 donation from Shirley Bartushik and authorizing the pass-through disbursement of funds to the Lee Center Area Fire Commission. So we need a motion to approve the consent agenda.
I make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
We have a motion
Second.
and a second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. All right. Moving on to public comment. If there's anybody from the public that has any petitions, requests, comments, or communications, please come up to the podium, state your name and address, and please limit it to a 3-minute speech. No one here? No presentations tonight. Moving on to old business. We have an approval of resolution number 2026S, a resolution amending and restating the enabling resolution establishing an economic development authority for the city of Lee Center, Minnesota.
Make a motion to approve the resolution number 2026S.
Second.
Is there any discussion that needs to be had on that? Anybody? Anybody have any questions? I know we just went over it, but just want to make sure. All right. We have a motion and a second to approve resolution number 2026S. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. All right. Moving on to new business. Approval of resolution number 2026T, a resolution accepting a $5,000 donation from Carl and Verna Schmidt Foundation and authorizing the city contribution for the 250th anniversary celebrations fireworks display. Need a motion to accept that.
Motion to approve the resolution number 2026T.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. It's going to be quite an event, the 250th. I've heard a lot.
Becky, I think not to put you on the spot, but I think you'll have some updates on that.
Yeah, I can
Give
touch
your
on that as
report.
well.
Okay, perfect.
That is awesome. That group, Becky and everybody else that's part of it, has been doing a really good job. I've heard a lot of people in the community talking about it, so it's really good. Thank you for that. Moving on to new business, letter B, approval of resolution number 2026U, a resolution regarding the administration of Minnesota Wetland Conservation Act. With this has been something that we've had to approve every year, correct, City Administrator?
No, and if you'd like, I can go into a little bit on how this is up for viewing tonight.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, so for a long time, the city was operating in the county through their soil and water district, that they would be the facilitators for this, and they've been acting on the behalf of the city for those wetland conversations. But the city back in 1991 or thereabouts, after it passed their own resolution saying they had staff that would be able to do that. And somewhere along the lines that just got dropped off, and through some looking through the state, they didn't have a resolution on file designating this over to the county. So this is going to just nothing's gonna change on our end. The county has been doing it for us, but we just need to get this over to the state that is officially designating that. So that's basically all this is for that, kind of those wetlands questions and having none of us on staff have the knowledge for what a wetland is, but the county does.
I was thinking this was that FEMA one
Oh, no.
with the surrounding area at least. Okay,
No.
never mind.
So this is just shoring up some old paperwork to make us legitimate. So,
All right.
yep, it basically transfers the powers over to the Soil and Water Conservation District to do the wetland stuff.
Any questions for City Administrator Evans on that? We need a motion to approve resolution number 2026U.
I'll make a motion to approve resolution number 2026U.
A motion and second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. All right, moving on, we have a ratification and approval of city administrator's application for the Minnesota Association of Small Cities Board of Directors. And this came up recently. You were asked?
It did.
or-
Yep, I'm officially on the board, and that's why I wrote in there ratification, because I'm asking for approval after the fact. But how this ended up happening is Cap O'Rourke reached out to me with the soon-to-be retirement of another city administrator within this district is going out, and he asked if I wanted to step in his place to be on the board. So it was kind of a last minute to fill out this application, but part of the process is getting official blessing from the city council to go ahead and apply for it. I can certainly pull out if you guys deem it's not necessary. But some of the things that is going to be allowing us to do as the board of directors is come up with the envision of what the Minnesota Association of Small Cities will do on the legislative front. So we kind of craft different things that small cities, specifically cities under 5,000, that's what this group represents, and some of those issues. And it's CAP has been lobbying at the state capitol to make sure our needs are met. So, you know, a lot of the lobbying things we talked about in the past is, you know, keeping LGA, keeping zoning preemptive bills out of there so we maintain zoning regulations, make it easier to apply for state and federal dollars, doing carve-outs for cities under 5,000 for like this MnDOT's assessment that they came out. And so just kind of focusing on that, and it's kind of really tailoring a path in kind of the legislative level there. So I did have an opportunity to go to their annual meeting. That was at the conference that I went to in Rochester a couple weeks ago, and then met with the group, and then they gave me approval from there. It's really a very small amount of time. I think they have one fall annual meeting that's a 2-day event, and then they go off of this league event for their other meeting that they do, and then everything else is online, kind of quarterly meeting. So it's a small investment, but I think it's worth having a voice out there because we need to kind of push back on some of these laws, in my opinion, that are getting crafted, and at least carve out and exceptions for cities for under 5,000. The big metro cities can play their 7-county metro politics, and we got to try to stay out of it. So, I think it's good.
Appreciate you taking on that leadership role.
Yeah.
Unless you want us to vote you out, so you don't.
No, I very much want to be on the board. Yep.
Then I'll make a motion for the ratification and approval of city administrator's application for the Minnesota Association of Small Cities Board of Directors.
I'll second. We have a motion and a second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Good luck, congratulations,
Thank
and
you.
don't be afraid to throw our name out there, the police center.
Yep.
All right.
Too loud.
All right, moving on to new business, letter D. We need to set a workshop meeting for August 10th at 5:30 PM. Big thing there would be budget, correct, city administrator?
Correct, yep.
So that's gonna be, we might get through it, we might not. If we don't get through it, we will set another one afterwards. So, or continue it afterwards, that's what we said.
Yep.
Yep, continue it after the meeting.
I will
So-
not be available for that meeting. That,
You what?
Mr. Evans, I will not be available for that meeting that day. I'm gonna be out of town.
Okay, sounds good.
And just note that is a Monday, and that does follow the regular council meeting as well.
All right.
I will need a
Oh,
motion.
we need a motion to set that, though.
I'll make a motion to set the workshop meeting for August 10th at 5:30 PM.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed, same sign. All right, under new business, web construction lawsuit update.
I can tee this one up.
Thank you.
Not necessarily a pleasant thing to discuss, but it is something that should be. As all of you know, the city is being sued by Web Construction for the City Hall remodel, specifically the front part of City Hall. When it comes to a civil lawsuit like this, there are essentially 4 different phases of what I'm going to call the lawsuit. You've got the pleadings phase, which is basically the summons and complaint served on the city and the answer. That phase is complete. Then the next phase is the discovery phase. We're currently about 33%, maybe even closer to halfway through that discovery phase. Many times the discovery phase is the most expensive. After the discovery phase, there's a pretrial phase, which consists of motions, preparation of jury instructions, motions to dismiss, motions to exclude evidence. That is also a relatively, or can be a relatively expensive phase of litigation. Then the final phase of litigation is the trial itself. Frankly, the trial is the most expensive part of the entire process, as you guys would anticipate. As I mentioned, right now we're in the discovery phase. City Administrator Evans and I have tried to resolve what I think is a case that should frankly have been resolved long ago. This construction contract with Web Construction called for the remodel of the front portion of City Hall. It was essentially an $85,000 contract. There were some changes during the course of construction. We essentially paid out just a little bit over $87,000. The contractor now has come back and said, well, you made a number of changes during the course of this construction contract. And those amounted to $35,000. We've essentially said, prove it. Again, the initial contract was $85,000, we paid $87,000. They now have sued us for that $35,000, $35,000 something thereabouts. When this entire, even before this case had been sued out, Dan and I tried vigorously to resolve this. And I think we made what I would characterize as a very good faith effort to do that. And we were not able to, obviously we weren't able to resolve it because Webb then started the lawsuit by suing us. As I mentioned, we've responded to it. Webb today did make an offer of $25,000 to resolve it. I still think that that is a high amount. You know, I look at this situation and I can't get past the fact that this was an $85,000 contract and we paid $87,000. So where did those extra costs come from? Now, 9 times out of 10 in a construction contract, you do change orders. And those change orders set forth exactly what is changing in terms of the scope of the work, but more importantly, the scope of the price. For whatever reason, that was not done on this project. And here we sit. You know, litigation can be expensive. Litigation can be uncontrollable. And there is always the unknown with litigation because it is judge dependent. And it is witness specific. You know, how are the witnesses going to testify? How is the evidence going to come in? What is a particular judge going to do? A lot of the, you know, I can sit here and I can give some possibilities, but I can't with 100% certainty tell you how litigation is going to shake out. I mean, the law, frankly, is even more unpredictable than medicine. You go to a doctor, you've got an ailment. Well, it might be this. Oh, it's not that. We're going to try this medication. You know, somewhat the same situation with law. There are a lot of intangibles and unknowns that can come up, especially in litigation. All totaled, I have an ethical duty to present you with offers that I receive. And today, for the first time in this entire case, despite the fact that Dan and I have tried to resolve this thing time and time again, today, we finally got this offer for $35,000. I think, or $25,000. I think what spurred that offer was I served on them what is called a Rule 68 offer. Rule 68 of the Rules of Civil Procedure basically says that if we make an offer and it goes to trial and they get less than what our Rule 68 offer was, that they pay our costs. Now, it doesn't include attorney's fees, it just includes costs, court filing fees, deposition fees, copying fees. Those costs can be substantial, but the more expensive part, of course, is the attorney's fees. They made an offer today for $25,000. Their claim lawsuit is for $35,000. They've come down to $25,000. I'm going to ask that you guys reject that tonight. I mean, you certainly can accept it. I'm going to ask that you reject that offer here tonight. Our offer currently stands at 10. I'm going to ask that you fire back at 15. Now, I'm going to tell you, I am not at all happy about moving that offer from 10 to 15. The only reason that I think you guys should consider doing that, frankly, is because we just passed the pleadings phase. We're about a third of the way through the discovery. We've got the motions and the pretrial procedure, and then we've got the trial. I've done a little cost-benefit analysis of this. I think you're probably going to be in around that 15,000 mark for the remainder of this case. So that is the only reason I think we should pay Webb. And I would hope that by making that offer, that will resolve this case. And so essentially what I'm looking for here tonight, and if you guys have any questions on it, I have no problem fielding those, but we're in open session and I'd be a little, a lot of times we do this in closed session, but being that we're discussing numbers, we have to do it in open. But I'm looking for the authority, I'm looking for you guys to give me the authority to reject that $25,000 offer and come back at them with 15. Again, the reason I'm offering 15 is frankly, I think it's going to be 15 to continue to get through this discovery phase, this motion phase, and then the trial. We'll have to do mediation. Unfortunately, mediation is going to cost us a couple thousand there. Trial probably going to run us 10. And to get through motions and some of this other, probably going to run another 3. You're in that 15, and Webb knows this, you're in that 15 grand mark anyway. So seeking the authority to go to 15 and reject their 25.
Were they ever able to come back with a?
Well, yes, they have given us a 2-sheeted page of what they believe substantiates their 35,000. Now, the interesting thing is when you take their 2-page sheet and you match it up with what they had provided to Dan back on December 10th, a lot of what is on that sheet is already factored into the December 10th accounting. Now, is it all there? No, it is not. The bad thing about this whole thing is anybody can sue for anything. It puts the city in the unfortunate position of having to defend this. The unfortunate thing about this is I cannot make this just go away. And the process is in motion. We either resolve the case or we litigate the case. If we resolve it, frankly, 9 times out of 10, it's better. We litigate it, we get into those unknowns and the intangibles, and it's expensive. I mean, it is. Litigation can be expensive. We're getting ready to do depositions here in a couple weeks. I intend to depose some of their witnesses. You can better believe that that's going to be between $2,000 and $3,000. You have to hire a court reporter or a stenographer. They charge by the hour. And then they have to prepare a transcript of it. But I have an ethical duty to convey to you the offer that was received finally today. And that was $25,000. My recommendation, and I think Dan would join in it, that we should reject that and counter it at 15. And that 15 would be in the form, what I'm gonna call that Rule 68 offer, meaning if we go to trial and they get less than 15, in theory, the judge should then award us the costs. Likewise, if we go to trial and it doesn't go our way, then there's a potential we'd have to pay their attorney's fees and their costs. Because unfortunately, in that construction contract, it does have language that would essentially say that for breach of the contract, you're on the hook for attorney's fees. So that's where we're at with.
Does anybody have any questions? I mean, you know what you're doing with this. I mean, that's your job. City Administrator Evans, do you have any comments?
Do, I mean, we.
You and I have talked a lot.
And very early on, I said, I understand that you came back with your 2-page report of what you want. You need to explain it to us.
Correct.
They're not willing to do so. So that means to tell me they have nothing. Because they can't even simply explain the ask of why they're asking for when we were given a document on December 10th that outlines all of those things.
Correct.
And they're not willing to they weren't willing to have a conversation.
They still have not.
They still have not acknowledged that.
Adequately justified.
So they just wanted to sue the city.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think that they've approached anywhere near the 35,000. Was there some repainting? Yes. Was there some additional glass work? Yes. Was there a little bit of extra cabling? Probably. But does that equate to 35,000? Not on this planet.
Does the fact that they were so far behind the schedule come into?
No,
Fortunately,
there's
that's-
nothing in the contract that gave them a
I
timeline.
don't even want to call that thing a contract. That's more of a gentleman's agreement on a napkin. I mean, there's no essential details in that thing. No, there's no construction schedule. There's no liquidated damages provision. Which liquidated damages provisions, but this was a smaller contract and we didn't have a construction manager and was probably trying to save a buck. Now look. I think going forward, I think on a construction project, even a medium-sized one, engineer, construction contract, the whole gamut, change orders.
Make a motion to reject the $25,000 offer and change it to a $15,000.
And I second it.
We have a motion to accept or to reject the $25,000 offer and propose a $15,000 offer. Are there any discussion on that? Questions? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. How long do you anticipate them getting back to you?
By Friday.
By Friday?
That's what I told the attorney. I said we would be meeting tonight and I wanted an answer by Friday.
All right. All right. Moving on to reports of departments and organizations. Planning and zoning, Corey.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. I've got nothing to update other than the fact that we're still just waiting on the stuff that we've been talking about for the past 12 months.
Good. Any questions for Corey?
Is there any more, I haven't driven past it in a while, that house that's coming in, is there any more movement on what he's doing?
The house, I'm guessing, I haven't talked to him for a while, should be getting moved in probably in the upcoming days. He wanted to get it backfilled first. He wanted the concrete to sit instead of relying on bracing. You still got braces in there, you have to, but he wanted the concrete to set up. He wanted sewer and water to get taken care of, so that way they weren't driving over trenches. So you don't want to be working around the house. So the house should be coming in soon.
Okay. Looking good. They're doing a really nice job over there.
Yeah, other than the time factor, but it's still.
We haven't Hasn't been that long.
No,
I wouldn't think so.
no, exactly.
All right. Thank you, Corey.
Thanks, Corey.
All right, moving on to the liquor store report. Miss,
We can go Bicla yet.
all right, Dikla.
Banjo.
I heard you stutter there, I'm like, I know what you're doing.
Good evening. Our June 2026 sales were $103,872.70. Our May gambling was $7,942.34. Our CNN sales were $326.30. You can see our revenue sources for June below. We had lots going on in June. We had live music, we had graduations, we had weddings, we made community donations. We also have been updating the bar by painting, new wall decorations, lights, neons, tin signs, etc. Here in July, we don't have a whole lot going on, but we have a couple weddings also coming up again. And then we have our booze wagon raffle, which we've been doing, which is part of the 250th celebration. And that is Saturday, July 25th, from 4 to 9:30 in the courthouse park. And a couple of cool things about that is at 3:55 that day on Saturday, July 25th, there'll be a military flyover. So that's really neat. That I think will be good for everyone, including children and adults. And then after that, we'll do a Civil War cannon shot to start the parade, and the parade will start about 4 o'clock.
Little cannibal?
Yes.
Yep.
Yep. Watch out. There'll be a couple different like short programs on history and whatnot, but the parade will also include clowns, the Zura cars that go really fast and everything, and then a few local different community members and whatnot. And then after the parade up at the courthouse park, there will be music. We'll have the DJ Rich Kern up there. We'll have Elon Bluston. There'll be games. There'll be food, like lots of treats for kids. Adult beverages you can get at any of the bars in town. And then we also have different prizes going around right now. For the best decorated business, I mean, you can win a prize. There's a coloring contest for kids in the parade, most patriotic parade family. So if anyone wants to join the parade yet, you can sign up. We have a 50-50 raffle that will be drawn that day, and then the booze wagon drawing. But the biggest thing is we will have fireworks up at the fairgrounds at 10 p.m. that night. So I hope everyone can join us and support all your local bars and places in town.
So a couple things with that. One, the most of the activity is going to be in the courthouse park.
Correct. Yeah.
And then in the evening, then the fireworks are going to be up at the.
Correct.
Okay,
Yep,
just want
everything
to
will
make sure.
Close down at the park there, and
Okay.
then expect to walk up
Awesome.
or drive up to the fairgrounds there for the fireworks.
That's great. You guys are doing a great job.
Yeah,
that.
thanks.
Taking a lot of your time.
Has there been any other advertising that's been done at all, or? No? Just curious.
For this, yeah, on Facebook, and then there's a 250th Center Celebration Facebook page.
Awesome.
Otherwise, from the Muni, I've been doing a lot of that too, and then the chamber has, and I think the city posted a couple things too on the Facebook page, and then flyers throughout town and paycheck, a couple different forms of newspapers. So
Good.
yeah,
Good.
good.
That's awesome.
It's this hot, can we sit in the pool and watch the fireworks?
I like that idea.
Pay extra.
Yeah.
All right. Any other questions? No questions?
Thank
All right,
you
thank you,
all.
Becky.
Thanks, Becky.
All right, moving on to police report. Chief Huber.
Evening.
How we doing?
So you got the report in front of you, you notice the miles are still down and stuff, but my desk has a lot more miles on it than it's ever had, so it's making a difference. So, a couple things that I got for you, last time we talked about the pool opening and the Highway 99 crossing stuff. Did contact the state, along with the TZD Coalition and Public Works. State came in and repainted the fog lines right away. They moved the detour signs that were blocking the crosswalk signs, and replaced and added additional crosswalk signs on both sides. So that helped quite a bit. City Public Works hired the guy to come in and refresh the crosswalks, put up the temporary signs in the middle and fix the flashing lights. So I think as of right now, we're really pretty decent. I've seen a lot of cars slowing down and stuff just because of the lack of noise up there with the signs and stuff. It's made a big difference by moving home, so.
Sorry about all that. In past discussions, we've talked about possibly purchasing one of those wagons to.
Trailer?
Yep, there you go. Would that be something that we'd want to do? I mean, I know not just for this, but for other.
So if we're gonna do that, I recommend doing the trailer so we can move it around.
Correct.
So it's more usable throughout the whole town. Actually, I was looking into trying to write a grant for one, or at least for partial, which is just something that I'm starting to look into now. When I worked for the county, for TZD, we started writing a grant for one. The county already had one, so they didn't want to store two, so we stopped doing it. At that time, they were about 6,500.
Yep.
Roughly.
Yeah, I think last time we looked, it was about that 5,500, I thought, somewhere in there, but depending on which way you went with it. But that, and something else that maybe we talked to, or maybe you have already, with the 2009 or 2029 project, getting extra lights up there well before that main crossing, those main crossing areas.
Yeah, we had that conversation with MinDOT, which I was not aware that they build the road, surface and structure, and then they worry about all the added stuff later. So they kind of, in my opinion, are doing it backwards, but we did speak about it, and he talked about getting we talked about like the ones that automatically flash the strobes that are more attention getters.
Yeah. Okay.
But again, that's a couple years out.
It is.
So what they did now is working, and hopefully it helps keep the kids safe and everybody crossing the road.
Okay. Let me know how that grant stuff goes.
Second thing I got is I said last time we made a conditional offer for a new hire. Unfortunately, that new hire backed out. Got offered a job at a different agency that he applied for before in the wash. Apparently, they called him up and offered him a job and he could start in July. So he accepted that position. I did reach out and make another conditional offer, and that person accepted, and they are now in the background stages.
Okay.
And he's been in contact with me quite a bit, so I'm thinking he's pretty excited, and hopefully if everything goes good, it'll be a good hire.
Okay.
If you haven't noticed, I've been driving the whole 2016 squad lately. Guys have been running the 2022 Ford. The 2025 Durango had an epic engine failure. Officer was at a medical, came out, and it was overheating. Oil that was on, well, all the fluids were on the ground underneath it. Had to haul over to Mankato so they could get it in sooner. Got fixed under warranty. Got it back today, so he's using it. So fingers crossed, it didn't do a lot of damage. They ended up putting a new oil cooler in it, radiator, all new hoses, water pump, flush everything out. What happened was the oil cooler failed. So, and it was under warranty.
That's good.
Got lucky there.
What year was that one?
That was the 2025.
That was the 2025. Wow.
But he got it back. He's about 45 minutes into his shift with it, so fingers crossed. So, the only last thing I had is this week, Tim Miller came up and retrofitted the ceiling lights in the office. Got rid of the gas neon and put in LEDs. Made a huge difference. The flickering's gone, and it's really kind of cool. I mean, it's bright. You can work on the computer and stuff, not get a headache where before they were sitting there flickering all day. So, and you can hear the buzz and that's gone. So.
Good.
Other than that, that's all I got at this point.
Any questions? No questions? Thank you. Thank you. All right, moving on to Public Works. Mr. Steinborn.
I only got a couple little things. The chip seal project, talked to Pearson Brothers. I won't get that going until August. First part of August, they thought, and then that spray patching will get done before that. RCM Specialties will be doing that around town. And then I checked on the picnic tables that we ordered. Hopefully we'll see them at the end of next week.
Good. Yeah. Do you guys have to put those all together then? Okay.
soon as we get them, we'll start working on them.
Okay.
Otherwise, I don't have anything else.
All right, that's awesome. All right, thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thanks, Tim.
All right, pool report. Dorothy, how we doing? Looking good is what it looks like, right?
First of all, the people that did our job this year, fixing the bottom and the collar, it's been excellent.
Good.
We had no injuries or cut toes, nobody slipping on the collar, the caulk is staying good, there's no big lifts coming or anything, so it was worth the money.
Good.
Hopefully we'll get that 5 years out of it.
Mhm.
Full report, you see up there what we brought in. So that hasn't changed since, if you look down previous years, it's kind of in the same ballpark. The only thing is, if you look down at the early bird sales that we really promoted this year, we took in 85 family passes, so we technically kind of lost $4,600 at $50 a piece. So that will reflect at the end of the year that we're down an extra 5 that we weren't expecting, but we got more than we normally have, so hopefully we make it up in concessions.
Yeah. Mhm.
And we did get the money from the Lions Club, and ECU was billed, and that is in the mail. And we're still waiting for Cleveland, but that's already been done, so we're promised that amount, so that should be coming.
Good.
And then you saw a couple places about the Lions Club and all the people that took advantage of the free swim, and this weekend is the Fireman's Free Swim, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. We've had some parties, Saturdays and Sundays this weekend again. Both days are full with parties from 1 to 3, and then the free swim from 3 to 8. So it should be busy up there. Everything seems to be working good. We've got one light out overhead. It doesn't affect us at 10 o'clock at night, so I think we're seeing that. But the boys are quick to come up to fix anything. They just gave us 2 new umbrellas for the lifeguard chairs. It's been such a hot week, and Fire Department, Brad Collins reached out to me for a wish list, and so I wished big, and we need to replace one of the lifeguard chairs. Came in at, I think, just under $4,000, but they won't cough up the whole 4. So they're gonna drop off a check this week, and I don't know what it's gonna be for, but anything's better than nothing. So we were hoping to have that already a month ago, but they were waiting for their money before they even started.
Gotcha. Have you done your DJ there yet,
No,
or
we
is that, are
haven't.
you going to do that or
He just
not?
called, he just
Okay,
called,
good.
but now you had mentioned Rich Kern's DJ, or you did.
He's very good. Yeah,
That
him and
maybe
Joe
we
Burns
should
were
think
great
about,
then.
he used to bring all his kids from Community Ed over, that maybe we could give him an opportunity to play
He
more.
does a really good job.
Yeah.
Great,
more in
great person
style,
too.
music than the other guy.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sure he'd love to do it.
Yeah, I
I'm
think
sure
so.
he'd love to do it.
Do you think we should be open that Saturday of the 250 Saturday?
I don't see why it wouldn't be a bad thing. I know there'd be some people downtown, but there might even be more people in town. So maybe I think it'd be fine. And especially if we're getting hot weather like it is now.
Normally if there's like a rodeo or something, we're paying 6 people to sit up there and get 2 free swimmers, but if they're from out of town.
Yeah. But I think it'll be fine personally.
Do you want to do anything special for that day? Like,
I can't think of anything. Maybe that's something that Becky and you guys might, maybe your group might want to think about. I don't know.
do free popcorn or
Yeah.
hand out something,
But-
balls or something.
What is the entry fee?
$3 or $4.
That's simple. I was just thinking like 250 or something like that for 250.
Well, we could do,
If
we
they're
could
wearing
do a free
American swim
swim.
trunks.
We could offer a free swim. Even though, most of the people that use it are people with passes, but on a weekend, like you said, if there's people from out of town.
That's not a bad idea.
If they're wearing patriotic swims.
I don't know, but I'd just say if you're gonna do it, just do it. That way the people working don't have to worry about that. And why not? Happy 250th.
And do you want it free or do you want a regular cost?
I think just do it free. Why not? Especially if you're thinking that it's gonna be down on numbers, it's not like it's
I mean,
gonna,
we'll be lucky to get 30, 40 people.
it's fine if we get more,
I'm
it just shows it off more
I'm
then.
fine with that.
Yeah.
Let's do that. Do we need a motion on that? I'll make a motion to have swim free on the day of the 250th celebration in town.
I second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign? I think that'll be good. Maybe, you want some, maybe we'll bring more people in there too. So,
Get it advertised.
yep,
So
awesome.
that's all I have, the 30,000 were already guaranteed and then the whole month of July. So we'll kind of be back right where we are, but
Okay, that's fine. Dan, can you make sure Tara gets that up on the, website as well?
Yeah.
Thank you.
So Dorothy, you can just work directly with Tara to get that.
Okay, and then on the,
What time is free swim, 3 to 7, 3 to 8, 3 to 8?
any other questions about the pool this summer or anybody been up there to check it out?
looks great. Has it been busy this last week or two because of the heat? That's good. You turn the heater off?
But the nights are probably the busiest.
Yeah.
But the bugs were really bad last week. The mosquitoes were horrendous.
That's crazy. I have not been bitten once all summer.
He ruined it.
That's the third time I said it.
Jinx.
And I suppose there's no way to just spray up there.
I mean, can you, that's,
have it set with, or if you would, once a month, it's on a schedule, it costs more to have them come.
when are they coming next, you know? Okay. All right.
You might want to think about moving it up before your Saturday party up there, fireworks.
Okay, yeah. That's a good point.
Yeah, Dan, you should get that sprayed up there.
Before the fireworks up there, see if they can get that up there sooner.
Somebody would probably use their time, I bet, if we
Oh,
didn't
yeah.
need to pay extra. Somebody's like, can you go up there and spray? I bet, I guarantee you, somebody would go up there and spray it. We don't wanna pay extra, we just gotta put it up there.
That's some stuff out on highway ag. That's guaranteed to kill
You won't have to mow it either.
All right,
Jeez.
all right. We'll get, no, anything else for Dorothy? No, thank you so much, Dorothy.
You bet.
All right, administrators report, Administrator Evans.
All right. Quick update here. We're going through our IT transitional phase, and we're gonna be good to go ahead and transition from CTS to Morse Electronic here at the end of the month. Firewalls were completed today at several locations throughout town, so we got that going. And now we just kind of need to work out some of the annual fees that CTS had taken on and kind of transition over to Morris to kind of facilitate those, like the Microsoft 365 licenses and some endpoint protection services and some annual fees for the firewall. So we're just now getting that all kind of set up and build, and then we're using the state's Mint department for some of our IT needs, and we're using a product specifically called CloudStrike that is available to a lot of cities at a reduced cost through grants that the state applied for. So Morris is really looking out for our bottom dollar and really going out for some of those free opportunities. Like we're going to use Microsoft Defender instead of a program to buy. So we should be able to see some significant savings in that transition as well. So that's going pretty well. We started a project with AT&T on the water tower. They're doing a radio swap up there, so we've got that in the engineers' hands to kind of go through and make sure it meets engineering standards, and we'll continue to work through that in the coming months to get that project started. And then also, we did hear back from Bolton and Mink that they did wrap up all of the tree inventory. So Dan and I want to sit down with them and go over that. And they're analyzing the data now, and within the coming weeks, hopefully we'll have a sit down. And we basically want to look at what are our highest risk trees And then so I can start scoping a request for proposal to come out to tree companies so we can start getting those taken down here in March, according to our relief grant timeline. So hopefully we'll hear back from there. And then in the back end too, they're also going to be working on their management plan for us. So that's all going well. And then working on budget. So it's kind of hectic in the office right now, working with different department heads. You saw earlier the capital improvement needs. Now we're going through and looking at operational budgets, and we'll have that presented at the August workshop meeting coming up next month. That's all I got.
Okay, awesome. Any questions for City Administrator Evans? No. All right, moving on to Leesburg County Commissioner updates. Commissioner Preisler, how are we doing?
Good.
Good.
Mayor and council, couple of things. The roundabout, 15 and 99 is on schedule. And so unless something else pops up between now and the end of August, they're still on schedule to be done the end of August. So one other thing that goes with that is that as you look at the detour, when MnDOT does a detour like that, they also then involve the state troopers, because that kind of becomes like a state road. So the state troopers are also patrolling that detour along with the sheriff's department. So for anyone that's got a little heavy foot going out towards Kilkenny, just be warned, okay? That there's probably a little bit more of a presence. And that just comes with the deal when MnDOT uses a county road for a detour. A couple other road projects that are going on is that they're finishing up the second lift on 7, which is, if you go down to like Cannonville Church, way down by towards Waterville, then coming north, okay? So they're finishing that up. As soon as they're done with that, they're gonna move over to 2. And 2, what they're gonna do is, if you go straight south of town on 11, first curve, from that curve going west to the city of Cleveland, that will be next, okay? And that'll get finished up in September. So as far as roads that some of you may be using here in summer months, that's a couple of them. The rest of the road projects, we've got a couple of them in Cleveland. I've got some other projects over by Wasua. And everything there is on schedule, and that's good too. We also are in budget season at the county. We will start with our first department heads next week. Our process, and this is the 3rd year of it now, is and it takes a lot more time, but I think it results in a much better product. We go literally line by line by line. And it takes more time, and but I think we get a much better product. The other thing is, and this can be kind of a culture shift, is that to really encourage department heads that just because money is left in the budget, it doesn't mean that it needs to be spent before the end of the year. And we will not hold that against you in your 2027 budget request. Okay? And so I think that's an important cultural shift as we look at things. And so we're just going to continue to go down that road. We too have got a 5-year capital improvement plan. One of the things that is not in that capital improvement plan is any plans for bonding or borrowing money for the next 5 years. And so, which is a good thing, because that enables us to continue to pay down debt instead of acquiring more. We're still working through some of the shifts that I talked about at previous meetings from the federal government and state government, mostly from the federal government side. We haven't gotten numbers yet on what may happen from the standpoint of Medicaid shifts. The other thing we're waiting on are just some billing parts. So we know that some of the shifts are going to start in the 4th quarter of 2027. And so, but what we don't have back from the federal government yet is, will we get billed in the 4th quarter or after the 4th quarter is done? And so does it become something we have to account for in 2027, or do we account for it in 2028? So there's still some of those details that we have to work through as we end up trying to absorb some of those shifts that we don't have a choice over because it's required by law. And then the last thing I'll leave you with, and you probably have seen some things pop up over the news the last several days on the paid family leave program. And I don't think it's necessarily unexpected, but just so folks are aware, you know, right now the law and what's being deducted is 0.88%. Okay? And depending on what, you know, each business has got a different way that they can deal with their employees on it. Some businesses are paying the whole 0.88. Most are splitting it 50-50. One thing to keep in mind though, is that in the legislation that passed, the state can move up to 1.1 without legislative approval. Okay, so if they see this thing over the next 6 months or so continue to track like it has, even though they've got a year's worth of money that was front loaded into it, if they see that this thing keeps tracking like it has for the first 6 months of the year, that is a real risk that is out there to consider, because they can go from the 0.88 to the 1.1 without the legislature approving it. So it also may be one of those things that ends up being a fairly hot topic at the legislature in 2027. But we'll just see how that goes. And I know that we're going to keep an eye on that just from a budgeting standpoint, and see what happens with it. It's not like a huge move, but it's still a move. And you got to account for everything. Finally, congratulations to Minister Evans for getting on the board with the small cities. I think that's great. I think the more that we've got people up in St. Paul pushing back on some of this stuff at multiple levels is an important thing. And we need to protect our own interests here. And so thanks for stepping up to do that. Any questions that people have got? All right. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, moving on to Leesburg County Fair Board, Ms. Stoff.
Yes, back from vacation in Florida, and it's just as hot here as it was down there.
It's cheaper here.
I don't have much to say other than I found out it's the Paradise City Wrestlers are coming to the fair. Mitch Paradise must be the top guy from what I've heard. I'm excited, except the only thing is when they're performing, it's also when my favorite band is performing, Little Chicago. They are fantastic. They're like a 12, 15 piece band, and they're tremendous.
So where is the wrestling thing gonna be?
I think it's kind of thinking about it. I think we want to use the Heritage Center, the old fair office, for them as a dressing room. So I think, I won't know for sure until tomorrow, because tomorrow is our meeting, but I'm kind of excited. Wrestling.
You're gonna set up a bunch of stands around this wrestling
We
ring?
have to, because I think I heard, I only listen to KTOA, so, you know, my information is a little on the short side, but I heard one of the southern towns, I don't know if it was Waterville or somebody else, they had over 1,000 people watching the wrestling. And I know too, my niece, Leslie Holland, is on the Cherry Creek committee, and they're also having wrestling, but they're not having Mitch Paradise, so. I don't know who they're having, but I think everybody would like to. Yes, exactly. So you'll get almost within 2 weeks, you get to see different wrestling venues between Cherry Creek Days. I think is August 7th to the 9th, and then I think we're Friday night. I'm not quite sure. This year with my take and bake contest, are you bakers out there? The category is oatmeal cookies. Any cookie just has to have oatmeal in it. I think I'm leaning towards my chocolate chip oatmeal. Good. I talked to one of my fair board members today, and for free music, on Thursday, we're having Sammy TD, I think, ahead of Doug Traxler. On Saturday, we're having Bob Toopy instead of on Sunday, and on Sunday, we're having the Jug Sluggers. I don't know who they are, but it's in conjunction with the car show. Our website is up with all the music being posted, and talking to my fair member today, she said The food vendors should be up in a couple days, so you can see who's coming. I know at the last meeting, we had 17 people wanting to come for food, but we only have like 12 outlets, so we were paring down to see, make sure we had a good variety. I was up at the fairgrounds for the FFA tractor pull, good crowd. They had trouble with the sled. The fellow had 2 flat tires, so it didn't start until 9:30, but the crowd stayed, which I thought was a good deal. And also I went up for the sheriff's posse ride. And once again, we had a very good crowd up there. And so it's nice seeing fairgrounds getting used. And I'll be back for the fireworks, sounds like.
How many food vendors did you have last year?
I don't know, it's not
You
mine,
don't-
not mine, but
okay.
I know, we have a new gal, her name is Chastity from, Lonsdale, and she's been very involved with stuff like this, and at the last meeting, we told her we just didn't have enough outlets for 17. So,
Some of them bring generators, don't they?
some do, yes,
Okay.
some do, yes, but the big thing is outlets and water. Water outlets.
Gotcha.
Thank you,
Gotcha.
everybody. I'm excited, it's coming close. And nobody asked me how many days, I'll be prepared next week. So, how many days until the fair? Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you. All right, moving on to other business, city council, sorry, not city, council reports, anybody? I just have, we have our county officials meeting on Wednesday, the 29th, that will be in town at the VFW, basement of the VFW. We will have that, so you're more than welcome to be there for that. We have Southern Minnesota Initiative Foundation coming down and giving the presentation for that. They've done a very good job in the past as well, so feel free to stop on down. Anybody else have anything to report on? No. Letter B, we have a reminder of our next council meeting is Monday, August 10th at 7 p.m. It's our next council meeting. All right. And that is all I have for this evening. I will take a motion to adjourn.
I make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign.